What is going on, everyone? Welcome to a brand new subreddit on my channel. Today I effed up. Let's get into it. Today I effed up by trying to surprise my girlfriend in the shower. So a month ago now, my partner Ali and I decided it would be a good idea to take a holiday before things get too crazy at Christmas time. My best mate Dan had been talking for ages about taking a holiday, and so we got together and planned a week up the coast in a little 2-bed/1-bath Airbnb overlooking a beach. Dan had only just started dating his girlfriend Lisa a month prior to the holiday. I'd got the feeling a couple times she didn't like me, but I had no idea why. So time comes for the holiday. I drive everyone up, we arrive, no problems, unpack, make the 30-second walk down to the beach and swim. All good. We go out for a nice dinner and then retreat to the beach house for some quiet drinks and then bed. Holiday is off to a cracking start. Next morning rolls around, I wake up alone in bed. I figure my girlfriend Ali must have gotten up early to take a shower and have breakfast. I make my way out to the living room/kitchen area and no one is around. I can hear the shower running through the bathroom door. I knock on Dan and Lisa's door, no answer, so I peek in and they're gone. Figure they must have decided to go for a walk along the beach. Feeling a little cheeky, I grab my towel, strip down and make for the bathroom. The door's unlocked. Sweet. I sneak in, shower curtain is closed, and I can hear a woman humming a tune inside. Oh no. I can see where this might be going. I drape my towel on the rack, pull back the curtain, ready to jump in and surprise Ali, and boom, there's Lisa with her back to me, lathering shampoo through her hair. She hears the curtain go and turns to look at me. We just stand there awkwardly for about half a second, which felt like an hour. Suddenly, reality kicks in. I attempt to cover my eyes and privates at the same time. Lisa screams and tries to pull the curtain shut. She slips on shampoo and smacks her head against the soap tray. If she didn't hate me at first, she does now. I had to help her naked and semi-conscious out of the shower, wrap her in her towel and sort out a nasty lump on her head. Turns out that Dan and Ali had gone down to the local cafe to grab us all coffees, and Lisa had decided to shower while they were gone. So yeah, the next 5 days went really great. Ali wasn't overly impressed about it all, but Dan thought the whole situation was hilarious despite Lisa's mental scarring. I've avoided making eye contact with or speaking to Lisa ever since. Wow. So yeah, if you've not encountered this subreddit before, now you probably know what it's all about. I guess we do all have those moments where we do something ridiculously stupid, so it's good to talk about it and make each other feel better about ourselves. Now for our second post. Today I effed up by over-tipping my waitress. I got an early Christmas card with a $50 bill in it. I put the bill in my wallet until I could get to the bank in a couple days. On my way home, I stopped at a sit-down restaurant and tipped my waitress with a $5 bill. You know where this is going, don't you? The waitress was surprised and very happy and thankful, which I thought was a bit over the top for what amounted to about a 30% tip. Comes time to deposit the $50, and guess what? It's nowhere to be found. After puzzling for several days over where I might have put it, the neurons fire, the connection is made, and I realized I had given it to the waitress, which would explain her reaction. Well, snap, I hope she really needed it, and I hope it was a blessing, but all I can think of is, oh, I'm such an idiot. Oh, I quite like this story. Yeah, you kind of effed up, but you made someone else's day, week, maybe even month, you know, it was a good deed. At least you didn't lose the $50. It went to someone who probably needed it and was clearly very thankful, so well done. Now for our third post. These are just addictive. Today I effed up by not knowing what black coffee is. Wait, really? So, with a new patio in the back garden being done, we have a local handyman there doing his thing. Naturally, I offer to make him a drink, to which he replies black coffee. Now, being a clueless tea-drinking Brit, I assume black coffee is a type of branded coffee or something. I can't find it, so I make him a normal milky coffee instead. Perfect. I apologize to him, saying we don't have any black coffee, to which he laughs. I'm not sure why at the time. I hand over this milky mug of coffee to him, and his face instantly shifts to the most defeated look ever. The couple seconds of silence were ended with him saying, "Cheers, mate," in a disappointed manner. This continued for the rest of the day, every time he asked for a coffee until he eventually went home. I eventually found out that black coffee is just coffee with no milk. I can't look him in the eyes now. Yeah, but you've only got yourself to blame. Like, how do you not know that? All right, you know what? Comment below. Seriously, do any of you not know what black coffee is before reading this? I would be astounded if there is actually anyone who doesn't know what it is. I mean, yeah, you come across as pretty stupid, but it did make for an interesting and funny story, so thank you for that. Now for our fourth story. Today I effed up. My wife nearly died during the birth of my son 3 months ago. He was born very premature and he's had some physical challenges. We took him on his first flight and he was really well behaved. What did I choose to watch? Finding Nemo. Very, very stupid choice. She had pre-eclampsia, which is not totally rare, but she only exhibited a headache and none of the other features until her blood pressure shot through the roof. He was born shortly after we were admitted to the hospital, and while it was the happiest day of my life, I haven't really had the chance to fully deal with the trauma of walking into a hospital thinking my pregnant wife would get a shot to quell a headache, only to have to confront the reality of possibly walking out alone. I chose not to focus on any of that. Instead, I put my head down and concentrated on the things we could control. He was in the NICU for several weeks, and every day we had to be strong parents for our son fighting for his life. And of course, once he graduated from the NICU, we suddenly had a baby to turn into a full-grown human. The lack of sleep is real. Plus, postpartum and the grief of not experiencing the full term has been very difficult for my wife. Meanwhile, I'm a freelance artist who has been getting a lot of work recently after a very dry few months. Basically, I've had absolutely no time to slow down and think about everything. This was a transcontinental flight. He was marvelous. Slept almost the whole way, even after our flight was delayed for 7 hours, and we spent the entire day at the airport. My wife had held him most of the flight while I caught up on some work. But when her back was aching, I took him and I looked for something to watch. I didn't want anything too stressful, and I thought, Finding Nemo has that Thomas Newman score and the blue and orange will be soothing. I had completely forgotten about the beginning. Really, really dumb. But I couldn't turn it off, even as the snot outvolumed the tears. In a sense, it was like an ice bath. At first, it stabbed me like 1,000 knives, but once I relaxed and let it wash over me, I felt that part of me begin to heal. We're both starting therapy because we have a man to make, and we can't be good parents without being ones who are as healthy as possible. This is just the beginning as a parent, but I can't help but think that maybe Finding Nemo helped me figure out just how much I've been holding inside. Which is, coincidentally, kind of the point of the film, letting go. Okay, now this doesn't really seem like much of an effort, but just picture this in your head. This guy is watching Finding Nemo with his son on his lap and is crying. He said he's got snot-filled tears. Like, imagine how embarrassing that is. Yes, it's very emotional, and of course, reading this, I completely understand, but that is why it's categorized as an F-up. Although, admittedly, this is one of the more emotional, nicer stories you'll get on this subreddit, it is still funny to laugh at that image. But yeah, him saying we're both starting therapy because we have a man to make and we can't be good parents without being ones who are as healthy as possible, that just shows that this dad is unbelievably good. Now for our final post. Today I effed up by accidentally ghosting a great first date. So last week I was in Korea and spontaneously decided to download Tinder a day before I was supposed to leave, since I had no plans that day. Luckily, I found a guy who was willing to meet up with me that day and we planned to meet for dinner in Seoul. Then he told me he actually had plans at night but was willing to meet up for coffee. I agreed and we end up meeting a few hours later to grab a coffee. He pays for my drink and immediately we connect and talk for a very long time. He was super sweet and very attentive throughout the whole date. I was surprised that we shared many similar interests. He promised that when I visit Korea again, he'd show me around and made tentative plans. He repeatedly told me he wanted to meet again, which I took as a sign of interest. Since I was returning to Japan, I had no intention of continuing to use Tinder, so I asked for another way to contact him. Since we were in Korea, I figured he would have Kakao Talk, a Korean messaging app. So I suggested that I should add him on Kakao. First big F up. I added him on Kakao through his QR code, despite never using the app before. Then send a quick hi message and close the app. After that, I forgot about it and we quickly went back to chatting and banter. Eventually, it came around time for dinner, but neither of us wanted to leave early, and since he had his commitments at 9 PM, he suggested we walk around and grab dinner. I agreed and we walked around the streets of Seoul to find a place to eat. We settled for street food and talked over dinner. This time, time, I pay for the meal as a thank you for the coffee and we head back to the station. But since neither of us wanted to depart, we made one last pit stop and he decided to show me a Korean bookstore. We were supposed to end the date at 7 PM, but we kept on pushing it back as we found new things to discuss until it reaches almost 7:30. It was finally time to go, so we walked to the station together. He told me that he was very lucky to have met me and that I should call him when I reach my hotel safely. We agreed to keep in touch online. We depart and I get on the train. My hotel was 1 hour and 30 minutes away by train, so 45 minutes in, I decided to spontaneously delete Tinder. Since I had this guy on Kakao, it shouldn't have been a problem to delete Tinder, right? Second F up. When I finally reached my hotel around 9 PM, I decided to open up Kakao Talk and message him. I look at our chat log and it was empty. I remember thinking, weird, I thought I messaged him earlier. But I quickly dismissed it and tried to send another message. It didn't go through, so I tested another message and it didn't work. Turns out I'm partially banned from Kakao Talk because the number I registered with isn't associated with a carrier anymore. This means that I can't send messages unless they send the first message. I quickly go into panic mode and try to contact him through other means. However, I deleted my Tinder account, which was my main way of contacting him. So I thought that maybe I should make another Kakao account with my Korean number and contact him through there. So I uninstall and reinstall Kakao Talk and create a new account. That was my third F up. Clearly I wasn't thinking because there was no way to re-add him since I don't have his Kakao ID. So I backtrack and try to log into my old Kakao account and just wait for him to message me first. Immediately I receive a pop-up notification. This account is temporarily disabled. I thought the ban only extended to messaging, but apparently now I can't log in either. I messaged Kakao support and they said it would take several weeks to unban me if they don't find anything wrong. Great, so now I guess I unwittingly ghosted my first date. I really put in the effort to contact him again by trying to find other social media, but to my avail, I had no luck. So I guess I will never be able to contact him again, and the whole date was just one big fever dream of my time in Korea. Oh man, that sucks so much. It sounds like you two genuinely got on really well. That is actually, I feel bad. Oh, I really hope that there's some sort of karma in this world that will help you two somehow find each other and get back together again. I don't quite know how that would be possible, but yeah, you guys obviously deserve to see each other again. That was so wholesome. Anyway guys, that is gonna do it for my first ever episode of r/Today I F'd Up. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly did. This is one of those subreddits that I go on quite a lot in my own time, but I've never made a video on it before. So let me know in the comments, do you want to see more of this subreddit? With that being said, I will see you guys all later today with a brand new video on the channel.